So I'm not going to go live on this video because I want to reach a larger number of people than just my personal Facebook feed. This video is going to discuss why food addiction is not an excuse and why it's a real affliction and how dangerous it is in basically perpetuating obesity in America. So today, as I was, just kind of getting ready for my day, um, a fellow Beachbody coach actually reached out to my group and asked, "Does anyone know anything about food addiction?" And and its effect, basically, on people. What is it? And does Beachbody actually cure it? Now, obviously, anyone who knows me knows that my food addiction was cured by the 21 Day Fix and Shakeology. So, of course, I, stepped up and said, yes, me, I lost 49 pounds in 105 days, all through the 21 Day Fix and Shakeology by curing my food addiction. And so, I spoke with her quickly, and she is really nice. But she told me that she has challengers who are addicted to food, and she was told by other people to tell them that food addiction is an excuse that they're making up in their head and that it's not real. And it breaks my heart to hear that anyone could possibly be telling someone who has a food addiction that it's not real. Because that's like telling a drug addict that their drug addiction isn't real. Or that's like telling someone their gambling addiction isn't real. Our brain is such an amazing, complex place. And those receptors in your brain, they can be triggered by anything. Especially food, especially carbs, especially sugar. I mean, when there are studies that come out that say that sugar is just as addictive as cocaine, how can you possibly begin to say that food addiction is an excuse? And that's the scary part of being obese in America. People just don't understand that you're not lazy, that you're not just trying to be unhealthy and be fat the rest of your life. I would say probably about 60 to 70% of people who are obese have a food addiction. Because for myself, I was so horribly addicted to food. So horribly. I mean, to the point where I was binging every single day. To the point where I felt like I had no self-control, and to the point where I basically had all but given up on life until I found the 21 Day Fix with the Shakeology. Because food addiction and binge eating disorder, they go hand in hand. And I would say it's 50% psychological, but 50% physiological. And the fact is, for anyone to say that someone's addiction isn't real and isn't valid because you don't understand it is sickening to me. So here I am. I am someone who has been called lazy before. Not obviously to my face because I'm a very kind person, but behind my back, saying that I don't want to try, saying that I don't care about myself. And a lot of those things were true, but not because I didn't care, it's because I didn't know how to care. When you are so lost in the spiral of a food addiction, you don't see the path to becoming clean. And I think it's really funny to say I'm now clean because I am. I eat clean and I exercise and I'm living a clean lifestyle. Much like how a drug addict would get clean, I have also gotten clean. And the saddest part about a food addiction is that it's just exacerbated by things like that. It's exacerbated by words like that, saying, no, you're not really addicted to food. No one can be addicted to food because there are people who are just born with the ability to, I guess, not have that propensity to be addicted to food. I mean, there are some people without addictive personalities. There are some people whose bacteria don't respond. So, interesting fact. I went to my doctor about 2 weeks ago, I right before the 46-pound mark, I believe. And so I went to my doctor for the first time in about 6 or 7 months, and she was amazed to find that I had lost, I had lost 44 pounds, 43 pounds according to her scale. I had clothes on, of course. Um, and I explained to her, what I was doing. And I explained to her, well, I'm doing 21 Day Fix with Shakeology. And really, I believe that the reason it's been effective is because of the probiotics and the prebiotics inside of Shakeology. Our bacteria in our gut is programmed. Think of it almost as a computer. What the information that you put into it, that is the information that is going to come out. So basically, when you are addicted to food, it essentially means that your bacteria in your stomach is addicted to food. And so when you are trying to eat right, your bacteria in your stomach is telling you something else. So, for me, my bacteria in my stomach was constantly telling me, eat carbs, eat sugar, continue to eat, because that was the way that it was programmed to be. That was the way my system was programmed. And that comes from basically poor habits, The better habits that we teach our children, probably the better off that our generation will be. But the fact is, our bacteria is programmed to want and crave what we put into it. So ultimately, when you are eating really high fat, high sugar, high carb, the bacteria in your stomach is also going to want high fat, high sugar, high carb foods. And so there lies the addiction. Your bacteria becomes addicted to food, and you become addicted to food. If you understand the way that our stomach tells us we are hungry, there's a signal that goes directly from our stomach to our brains to say, I'm hungry, I need to eat. Well, what sends that signal? It's the bacteria, it's the flora inside of our stomach that is sending that signal. And it's also sending the signal of what we want to eat. So the power of starting 21 Day Fix with Shakeology. Shakeology reprograms the stomach. It reprograms the bacteria to say, here's a fresh start. A clean slate. We haven't eaten anything. We don't want anything yet. So here is our clean slate to eating. On top of that, when you are starting the 21 Day Fix, you are eating clean foods. You're eating a lot of veggies, a lot of protein, fairly low carb, and the carbs that you're eating are very good carbs, whole grains, quinoa, granola, things like that, Ezekiel sprouted bread, all good carbs that do not cause that crazy sugar addiction, very low sugar, very low salt, and very low fat. The sugar that you're eating is coming from fruits, which of course are a different type of carb and different type of sugar than the sugar that's found inside Twinkies, inside of candy, inside of chocolate. And the other key is you are not restricting yourself. I might get backlash on this, and that's fine. I do not believe in a no-carb diet. I just don't think it works. I'm sorry. Especially from someone who is addicted to carbs, I do not believe that a completely no-carb diet works for people like myself. And the reason is because back last October, almost a year ago, I went no carb. Not only I mean, I lost 10 pounds almost immediately within about 5 or 6 days. Great. And then I failed miserably because I was so addicted to carbs that I just could not, I couldn't give them up. In my head, I was constantly like, okay, so when am I gonna eat carbs? Like and I realized it was never going to happen. Life is about balance. Life is about once in a while. It's about that healthy relationship with food. The 21 Day Fix allows you to do that. So, coming from a serious, serious food addict, I mean, I had prediabetes, I was hypertensive, I had pancreatitis a total of 4 times. I had my gallbladder removed, a cholecystectomy. The second time I had pancreatitis. So it wasn't like I had it 4 times and then they removed my gallbladder and it got better. Actually, my pancreas was so inflamed from all of the high fat foods I was eating that I got it again and then again. And then what else happened? Well, Oh, my knees. I have patellofemoral tracking disorder in my knees. And so basically my knees track out an incorrect way due to the excess weight on my body. So it's not like I was just like, well, I have all these health problems, but I'm lazy, so I'm just, not going to do anything. It was something that afflicted me every single day. Afflicted me to say, I just don't know how I'm going to change. I can't stop eating. I am addicted to food, and it's not an excuse. My body today is a tribute to the fact that food addiction is real. It's real, it's destructive, it's deadly, and don't you dare discredit it until you've dealt with it. I'm very passionate about this, and I would literally hate to have someone be told by especially a fellow Beachbody coach, a company that is dedicated to solving obesity, that food addiction is not real, because it is. Sugar addiction, carb addiction, salt addiction. Our bacteria in our stomach is programmed by what we put into it. The cleaner food that we eat, the better foods we will crave. The sooner that you retrain your bacteria in your stomach to stop craving, the sooner you will be able to conquer your food addiction. I highly recommend, as a woman who has lost 49 pounds in 105 days, cured my hypertension, and cured my prediabetes. I also should mention I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, which makes it very difficult to lose weight. Was my PCOS caused by my overeating? Definitely. There's so many different studies on that, but I personally do believe that. Anyway, as a woman who has experienced all of these health problems and has had a ton of success from this program, I highly, highly recommend that you use the 21 Day Fix with Shakeology to cure your food addiction. Now, I also did this with the help of a therapist. I had therapy for 2.5 years, like intensive therapy for 2.5 years before I started 21 Day Fix with Shakeology. I do believe that food addiction partly can come from a place of wanting to fill a void, wanting to fill boredom, wanting to fill sadness. Binge eating disorder has very strong psychological ties. You need to be doing the work, both psychologically and physiologically, in order to get that homeostasis that you need to be your absolute healthiest self. It's not about being skinny. It's not about looking good in a bikini. And it's certainly not about putting yourself down because you don't have the perfect number on the scale or you look perfect. It is about health. It is about staying on this beautiful earth as long as we possibly can. It is about being happy in your own skin because you feel good in your own skin, because it looks healthy. Your face looks healthy because your body feels healthy. You can take a deep breath and it will actually, satiate your body. There are so many factors on why you should lose weight. 97.7% of them are for health. So, if you're struggling with a food addiction, like I was, if you are obese and morbidly obese, if you have health problems and you don't know how to cure them, I strongly endorse and believe in Shakeology and the 21-day fix. I don't do this to make a ridiculous salary. I do this to help people. And so far, in 3.5 months, I have helped over 26 people get healthy and 10 of them to start to cure their addictions to food and reduce their cravings that are caused by the bacteria in their stomach. I'm not a medical professional. I'm just a girl who saved her own life by doing Beachbody's programs and decided that I want to live a little bit longer than I would have if I hadn't found this program. By a little bit, I probably mean about 3 decades. I weighed 255 pounds on April 26th of 2016. Today, what is today? August 7th. Today, August 7th, 2016, I weighed 206.5 pounds. So, I just have to share, your food addiction, it's real, it's validated. Don't ever let anyone tell you it's not, because it is. It's not an excuse, it's real. And I have a solution to help you. Okay, so if you have any questions, if you would like to reach out to me, all of my information is posted below. And I am so looking forward to going on this path to health and wellness together. Have a beautiful evening and always love yourself.